Right on. Good afternoon, everybody. As always, going to give it a couple seconds before everybody gets in here, but touch on yesterday. Actually, the last couple days been pretty damn good. Man, Boston, man. I know a lot of people didn't like that play in the first place. I actually really did like it. Heartbreaker. Second and third, no out in the ninth, bottom of the ninth, doesn't get the job done. Yeah, is what it is, though. That's what happens when you play dogs. Minnesota was a bad call, but everything else hit pretty damn well. I actually kind of liked it today. Slate. I got a couple SGPs to start, but I promise they're not all SGPs and whatnot. The way that some of these games are juiced up, I had to play it like that. So let's just get it started with the Dodgers right now. The Dodgers and the Marlins. Obviously, I would like to play Dodgers -1.5 here, but it's -170. Really hard to lay that juice. Again, do I think that they win by 2? Absolutely. But I think the much better way to play this is Dodgers in an SGP is Dodgers money line and their team total over 4.5. That comes back at -115. Again, the Dodgers are absolutely rolling right now. I don't need to spend a lot of time on this. Tyler Anderson, obviously, has almost been unhittable at times. He has been down some of the starts, but again, none of those teams are as bad as Miami. And then the kid Lance for Miami has a little bit of talent, but again, this is the number one offense in baseball. Like, so who are we kidding right now? So again, I was just trying to find ways to get this juice down, and I thought this was the best way of doing it. So next game up is the Phillies and the Pirates, and this is the same type of situation. Bryce Wilson hasn't been as bad, I don't think, as everybody would make him out to be when you say his name. But at the same time, I think that Bailey Falter's starting to come into his own a little bit. He hasn't looked good. He had a little bit of trouble with the long ball when he first started it up earlier in this year. But if you take a look at his last couple starts, 6 innings, 2 hits against the Mets. I mean, that's a pretty solid performance. Even if the Mets, which they weren't, in the slump of all slumps, the fact that he's able to go out and pitch against a division rival like that, kudos to him. At Pittsburgh, gave up 2 runs. The Cubs got to him, but he pitched well against the Nationals and the Cardinals. So it's the same. It's the same thing with the Dodgers. I think that the best way to play this, you could play Phillies -1.5 at -140. I'd be comfortable with it. But I think it would be better to play Phillies money line and their team total over 4.5 at -125. You're saving almost 20 cents. And even if their bullpen, which we have seen in the last couple nights, I guess, be the typical Philly bullpen that we all know and love, in 4.75 minutes on that sauce. Again, it's just we've seen them go up and down at times. Do I think that they probably do that against this Pirates team? Probably not. But at the same time, I don't really like laying runs with this Phillies team at home unless I absolutely love it. So I do love it here, but I think this price is a little bit easier, especially saving 15, 20 cents. So that's how we're going to do that. Next game up is the Reds and the Nationals. And it was really hard to find a play on this game. First of all, the lines didn't come out for a while. Cavalli, I think, is making his first start. If not, he's only had one other start before that. Yeah, it's his major league debut. And then if you take a look at Mike Minor, did he have 2 bad outings against Pittsburgh and Philly and the Mets? Yeah. But at the same time, he's not getting torched early in the game. It's usually later on. So the way I'm going to play this game is the first 5 under 5. It's coming back at -115. And part of this is a play on the number. 5 runs in the first 5 is a big number. I think that that's partly like that because you have a kid in Savali that's making his first major league start. But at the same time, the Nationals aren't scoring runs right now. And then on top of that, they just played in Seattle. And then they had to fly across country. They did have a little bit of rest in between, but still, I don't really like the spot. Again, the Nationals aren't scoring runs in the first place. The Reds are scoring runs, but again, they haven't seen Savali. And even if they score 4, I don't know if the Nationals score maybe 1. So again, I think 5 in the first 5 is decent. So I'm going to do that for 0.75 units. More of a play on that number 5, though. I just think that that's too high for 2 bad offenses, regardless of how this pitching matchup looks like. Reds, Nats, first 5 under 5 at -115 for 0.75 units. And then really quickly with Mike Minor and all those starts that I talked about, how he got lit up. If you look at the first fives, none of them, I think, well, one of them maybe went over this number 5. So again, more of a play on the number than anything, but still, I actually do like the number. All right, Angels and the Blue Jays. Low. I don't feel. I might. I first of all, we cashed with the Rays yesterday against these Angels, but I was on the Angels the night before. I know they got touched up, but I'm actually going to play on the Angels today. I'm going to take the Angels plus 1.5 at minus 125 for another 0.75 units. Look, the Blue Jays just got done playing the Yankees and the Red Sox, and now they come home from a road trip. We've seen them multiple times after the All-Star break not play well at home, a place where they typically have played well. We've also seen them multiple times lose to bad teams at home as big favorites. Now, they're not a huge favorite, minus 180, but if you take a look at the pitching matchup, the Angels definitely have the pitching advantage. I mean, Reed Detmers has been pretty damn solid for them. He's coming off a bad start in Detroit, which I think is part of the right reason why we're getting such a high number. But if you take a look at before that, against Minnesota, Seattle, Texas, the Braves, Baltimore, Houston, all solid performances by him. I understand that the Toronto or the Blue Jays are playing well right now, and actually Mitch White has pitched well too, but he's pitched into the 4th inning 3 of his last 3 starts. The longest he's went this year is 6 innings. That Boston bullpen is pretty taxed after playing those games in Boston. So I just don't really trust them to play or to win by margin just yet. Like I said, I think they should have lost those games, and that's not just because I was on Boston, but I think they definitely could have lost a couple games in Boston. So I'm not going to expect them to come home in a possible flat spot after 2 huge divisional series to essentially keep them in the race and expect them to beat a guy like Detmers and win by margin. So the only thing I would say is I wouldn't make this bet until you can see the lineups. The Angels lineup hasn't been posted yet. So there is, I'll double check right now to see if it's been posted. But the only issue that I would have is if there's any vaccination issues, but usually that stuff would come out by now. And I already looked and I haven't seen that. So unless like Trout and Ohtani aren't playing, then obviously it wouldn't be a play. But Jared Walsh is on the IR. I already know that. Like Trout, Ohtani, and Refrigo should be all right for me. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. I just don't trust the Blue Jays at home right now to win by margin. Next game up is those Red Sox and the Rays. Rays on the road with a bullpen day, essentially facing the Red Sox with, I guess you could call him the ace of their staff right now. I mean, he's the only one I think that you can really trust as far as the Red Sox staff right now. And I'll just start with Walker. He's been really good, really good. Last 2 starts, 7 innings against the Mets, no runs. And then he went into Baltimore, went 5 2/3 and didn't give up any runs. The issue with him, he's only going to go 5 or 6 innings. He's not going to go very long. For the Rays, bullpen day. They have an opener in Shikaris, or however you say his name. Not a lot to go on there. But the issue for me is Boston's just not winning games right now, and Tampa is winning games right now. And if you take a look at what Tampa's done against Boston this year, they're 8-2 against them, I think, if I'm not correct. Yeah, 8-2 against them this year. So it's very, very it's just funny to me that this number is plus 102. Like I really thought it was going to be similar to like minus 115, minus 105, give or take which side you want. But the Red Sox just haven't played well in the division this year. And like I said, has Walker been good? Yeah, but the Boston bullpen has been garbage, and he's not going to go long into this game. I trust the Tampa bats much more than I trust the Red Sox bats at this point. Like I said, they should have won a couple games against Boston, yeah, or against Toronto, yeah. But again, the Rays are rolling right now, and they've had a lot of success against them this year, and I'm not willing to lay it with Boston. If Boston was getting, plus 122 or maybe plus 105, maybe, probably not, but maybe this is a different story. But I'm definitely not laying the number with Boston right here. So give me Tampa on the money line at plus 102 for 0.75 units. I really think this is a mismatch. The only thing that they have going for them is Waka. And at some point, I don't think he's going to blank him. I'm just going to say that right now. And if you take a look at what Waka has done against the Rays, it's been up and down for sure. But the 2 starts that he's had last year against these Rays at home, he gave up 4 runs. So the 2 times he's pitched against them in Tampa, he's pitched really well. Anytime he's pitched against them at home, it's been a little bit different story. So I don't think he played for the Boston the second time he pitched against them at home. But either way, I'm still playing with the Rays here today. Next game up, Colorado and the Mets. I just actually, I get, look, I don't think there's a chance in hell the Mets lose this game. So I just paired them with the Yankees. And let me get the number just because I'm sure the lines have moved a little bit. I paired them Yankees, Mets, money line parlay minus 115 for a full unit. Chris Bassett's been awesome. As much as I wanted to fade him and talk shit about him going into the year, he's been fantastic for the Mets. And the Rockies on the road are just a fade right now. There's just no way I see the Mets losing this game. And the Yankees have Garrett Cole going up against the Athletics. I'll talk more about that game because I do have another play in that game. But as far as this game goes, there's not a chance in hell I see the Mets losing this game. So instead of paying the minus 150 on the run line, I'd rather just pair him with another team that I don't think has a chance to lose. So next game up would be the Tigers at the Rangers. I think the best way to play this, look, the Rangers are one of those teams that when they're hot, they're hot, and when they're bad, they're bad. And right now, they're playing pretty damn good baseball right now. Do I want to lay minus 162 with them? No. I might have a little bit of an SGP or something for the VIPs, but as far as this show is concerned, I'm just going to play a half a unit on them, minus 1.5 at plus 125. Glenn Otto has been pretty damn good for them at home. And like I've detailed in the past, when Texas wins, they usually win by margin. They are coming home off of a road trip, so that's the one reason I didn't want to put a lot of money onto this. But like I did research for one of Sauce's plays, I think a week or two or week and a half ago, and I looked at it again today. This is one of the rare teams that when they are coming home off of a road trip, they actually have a lot of success. So still coming off of Colorado, it is what it is. I don't really love that. But again, Glenn Otto, his last 2 starts, 6 innings against Oakland, gave up a run, and then went up to Minnesota and went 5 2/3 and didn't give up any runs. So again, not a huge play for me, but I'm trying to find the best value as I can for you guys. So if you wanted to make a play in this game, if you wanted to play like a Texas money line, I think you can get their team total over 2.5, and it comes back at like minus 115 or something. That might be a look as well. But yeah, as far as the show is concerned, I'll just play them on the run line because I know that they've had success there as well. So next game on the board. Let's see. The Cubs and the Brewers. Oh man, this one should be fun. I actually kind of went back and forth on this game. At first, I really wanted to play the Cubs at plus money because I don't really like this Brewers team just in general. I just don't trust them. I will say, though, Freddie Peralta has been pretty damn good for them lately. But at the same time, Justice Steele has been equally as good for the Cubs. The last time these guys pitched was the same matchup. They both played each other. So I think this number's set a little bit too low. I'm just going to play the over. Over 7.5. It's minus 110. I'm going to play it for 0.75 units. Both of these teams are capable of scoring runs. Milwaukee more capable of scoring at home. I actually am one of the guys that trust the Cubs bats to score. Like I said, they've seen Peralta more than once this year. He's only pitched, I think, like 15 times or something. This will be the 3rd time he's seen him. This will be like the 5th time the Brewers have seen Steele. So these teams are well acquainted with each other. I just think 7.5 is a little bit of a low number. I think it's 7.5 because the general public will see Peralta and Steele and think low scoring. And yeah, it is, but 7.5 is a little bit too low. I mean, 8 might have been like maybe a smaller play, but at 7.5, I kind of really like that one. So yeah, I made it easy on myself. Let's just root for both teams to score here. So next game up will be the Twins and the Giants. Twins, one of my few losses yesterday. I guess they're just not that decent of a baseball team. But again, I do think the Astros are extremely good. But good news for them. They get to play the Giants. And I think the Giants are still one of the Giants are bad this year, like bad, and that the fact that there's still a lot of people in the betting community that still thinks that there's value on this Giants team. Um, I've been fading them for a while, and I'm going to do it here again today. Again, has Minnesota played great baseball lately? No, they've lost, I think, 6 or 7 games in a row. But at the same time, 3 of those games were against Houston, and like I said, Texas has been playing well lately too. But I do think that Joe Ryan is one of the guys that I think you can trust here. Again, do I love the Twins? No, but at a short price at home, a team where a place where they've played much better. Twins at home, almost 10 games over 500. Away, they're 6 games under. Obviously, I know that most teams play on better on the road, but again, are on at home. But again, against righties, they hit well. I'm sorry, lefties, they hit pretty damn well as well. They have a pretty good record against lefties too. So I think this is a team with Minnesota that has to find a win here. I think we're getting them at a very cheap price. I think that if they go, instead of losing their last 6, if they win a game in Houston and a couple games versus Texas, I think this is like minus 150 price. So I just think that this is a little bit of a discounted price with the team that is garbage. You're right, Kyle Kerms. They are absolutely garbage, but I'm still going to play them here. Twins on the money line, minus 128. Huge bullpen advantage as well. Again, do I love it? No, for 0.75 units, but I do think that the Giants are that bad of a baseball team that I think that this is a kind of like a last gasp for the Twins for me. If they lose this one again at home, maybe I don't look at them again. But again, it's a short price for a team that I think that should be like minus 150, minus 155. So we'll see. And again, yesterday they were huge dogs, so I'm not too worried about that one. So next game up, let's see what you guys have. Padres and Royals is next on the DK board, so we'll just go with that one. This one was really simple for me. I'm going to take the 1.5 with the Royals, and Royals plus 1.5 at plus 105 for a half a unit. Nothing big, but at the same time, there's no way in hell the San Diego Padres team should be this big of a favorite. Absolutely not. I really want to play the money line, but I just think that that's asking a little bit too much. But Joe Musgrove hasn't been very good. I'm sorry about the graphics. I don't think Musgrove was listed until a while ago, but either way, Musgrove hasn't been pitching that well. I mean, I just, the San Diego offense hasn't been anywhere lately. I mean, look at their last games: 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 10, 3, 0, 6. I mean, this team's not scoring runs. So even if Soto were to come back today, which I don't know if he is, I don't think he is. But even if he was, I mean, look at what Chris Bubik has done. I mean, he had 2 bad starts. His last 2 starts were on the road against Tampa Bay and Minnesota. He took losses there, but at home against the White Sox, at home against Boston, no decisions, but 6 innings against Boston, only gave up 2 runs. 5 2/3 against the White Sox, who obviously smashed left-handed pitching. Only gave up a run. At home against Tampa Bay, 7 innings, only gave up 2 runs. So Bubik at home is kind of a play on for me. So I'm going to take the 1.5 at plus money and like it here. And if make the Padres prove to me that they can win by margin, especially on the road. Yeah, I'm taking the Royals here. Excuse me. Diamondbacks and White Sox will be the next game up. This one was actually an interesting handicap. And look, the White Sox are just playing losing baseball right now. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. I was on the Orioles yesterday at home at plus money, just because I just said in general, if they're going to continue to give the Orioles to us at plus money, I'm going to take it. And guess what? It won again. Why? Because the White Sox subbed in Adam Engel as a defensive replacement. With 2 outs in the 9th inning, he drops a pop fly that should have ended the game. The next pitch, or maybe 2 pitches later, Kyle Stowers, who's never hit a Major League Baseball home run, hits his first home run to tie the game. The White Sox don't score. They're in 3 tries in extra innings, and they lose the game in extra innings. Now they got to travel without rest to back home, and they get Johnny Cueto on the mound. But again, is Johnny Cueto been fantastic? Yes. But look at what he's been having to do lately. 8 innings against excuse me, 8 innings against Cleveland, 8 2/3 against Cleveland, 8 innings against Houston, 6 innings against Kansas City, another 8 innings against Texas. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work for Johnny. I don't think that I don't think that the White Sox are in a great spot after playing an extra inning game and then having to travel. The Diamondbacks got a rest day off. They had a day off yesterday. Now they're coming in here with a little bit of rest. So I'm going to take the Diamondbacks in the first five for a half a unit on the money line at plus 140. I think that they're in really good scoring form right now. They've been scoring a lot of runs the last 10 games. And not to mention the fact that, like I said, I think Cueto might be a little bit fatigued here. So has he shown that he's been capable of giving up runs? Not really. But again, a guy that his age continuing to throw 8 innings plus, I think that sooner or later it's going to break. The White Sox may win the game later on. But at the same time, take a look at the White Sox bullpen. And this isn't a full game play for me, but if you're putting like the White Sox in parlays, just think about that. The White Sox bullpen's given it up the last couple nights or made it interesting the last couple nights. And then even your closer, Liam Hendricks, gave up another home run last night. So I don't see how you get to the White Sox here today, even if Johnny Cueto has been pitching that well with as much as he's been pitching. It's just there's no way I can get to the White Sox here today. And that's not, I promise, that's not me catering to the sauce hate of Cueto. Like I was fully going into this probably trying to bet on Johnny Cueto, but when I saw his game logs and how much he's pitched, I just couldn't get there. So speaking of the Orioles, Orioles and Astros is the next game up on the board. What I love to play the Orioles here at a huge plus price, but there's just no way I can get there. Lance McCullers has looked really good for the Astros lately, and not to mention the Astros are just smashing the baseballs right now. Kyle Bradish, if we had one of the better pitchers on the mound for them, I mean, maybe I can look to Baltimore plus 1.5 because I'm assuming that's going to be the play that everybody's going to want to run to because of their success this season on it, but I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to go Houston money line, Yankees money line. Again, I don't think the Yankees have a shot in hell of losing that game. And that comes back at plus 114, and I'm going to do that for 0.75 units. Just really quickly with Bradish, 1-5, but it's not like he's pitching horrible. But again, that bullpen for the Baltimore Orioles is pretty taxed, especially over the last couple of days. He only goes 5 innings. I mean, he's actually he hasn't gone into the 6th inning yet this year. A lot of the games that he goes only into the 4th inning. So that Baltimore bullpen is going to get a lot of work. And those Houston bats are just on a tear right now. I was looking to play some Kyle Tucker props because he's my guy, but I don't see him anywhere. So Kyle Tucker won't be in the lineup. So if you see that, don't be alarmed. I kind of see it coming in. If he is in the lineup, great. But I'm definitely going to take my shot with the Astros here and the Yankees. So anywho, next game up. I think this is kind of the game of the night here. There's a couple really good baseball games on tonight. I'm really excited, but Braves, Cardinals. I'm just going to get out of the way. Cardinals money line for 0.7 at plus 135 for 0.75 units. Let's talk about it. Spencer Strider, the man, the myth, the legend, right? Really good. I'm not going to sit here and try to talk about how bad or what I said in the write-ups is that a lot of the times that you could sit there and nitpick things to make your write-up look better, whether it be a certain stat or whatever, really can't do that with Spencer Strider. He's been really, really good for the Braves. What I can tell you is I'm getting the St. Louis Cardinals with essentially everybody in the world probably betting the Braves here with Strider on the mound. I'm getting the Cardinals at home as a big underdog, fading the public, a team like the Cardinals that I really like playing at home. Why? 40-21 here this year at home. Talk about Jose Quintana. Again, Arizona, Colorado twice, the Cubs, Phillies. I mean, he's not facing murderer's row. And he actually doesn't have very good numbers against Atlanta either. I can't make a case and say that the bats for Atlanta aren't going to get to Quintana. I just think that he's going to pitch a little bit better. And I just think that this is too big of a price with a team like St. Louis that's as loaded as St. Louis to play this game. I'm also going to play the over 7 in this game at minus 115. I was just trying to find to see if it was still at 7 because I didn't know if it was going to move. And I'm going to play the over 7 at a minus 115 for 0.75 units as well. I just think that both teams score here. And I'm not trying to say that I think that Quintana goes and shuts him down. Or shuts the Braves down or anything like that. But I truly believe that the Cardinals can get some runs off of Spencer Strider. I'm not saying they're going to smash him or anything like that, but they have seen him once before. That does help. They were hitting the ball very good in Chicago. Like I said, 40-21 at home. You can't ignore that. Like I said, I understand everybody's going to be betting the Braves here today, but that's actually kind of where I like to be in my own little island. So Cardinals on the money line for me for 0.75 units, and I kind of like it. Even if it's a loss, like either way, I like the Cardinals today. That's a too cheap of a price to get to them at home, or too good of a price, not too cheap. Next game, Yankees and the Athletics. I'm going to make this simple for the show. I've already played them on the parlays. So Yankees minus 1.5 at minus 130 for a full unit. And for the show's purposes, Sauce, you don't have to type all this, but there's a lot of ways, guys, to play this game. Again, if this just ends up being a trap, I mean, I'm not saying, put your mortgage on it or stuff like that, but if this game ends up being a trap, so be it. But as JP Sears pitched good, yeah, but again, this Yankees team is starting to roll again with Stanton in the lineup now. They scored a bajillion yesterday. Look, you can play the Yankees team total. Oh, sorry, Sauce. I do have one other bet. I do apologize. Yankees team total over 4.5 at plus 115 for a half a unit. Again, that's why I wanted to talk about the trap. I don't see how the Yankees don't score 5 runs here. I mean, obviously it's possible. It's baseball, but I mean, with Stanton back in the lineup, it seems like the Bronx Bombers are back. Another way I was looking at this, you can go Yankees team total, and you don't have to do not type this, Sauce, but you can go like Yankees team total over 3.5 and the Oakland team total under 7 or 6.5 or something. And that's like plus 120 or something like that. So play around with those team totals and stuff with the Yankees. Like I said, I think they roll tonight again. I think this is a really cheap price, especially with Garrett Cole on the mound. I know that we like to pick on him, and I love to play against him at times, but I think that he definitely rolls here today. So last game on the board, the Seattle Mariners and the Cleveland Guardians. And we won with the Mariners as home dogs yesterday. A lot of people liked Cleveland yesterday. I stuck with my Mariners, and guess what? We're doing it again here today. Mariners on the money line at minus 105 for 0.75 units. The fact that this was plus money made me like this bet even more, because I thought I didn't play this last night because I was like, ooh, minus 105. Maybe it's going to be like minus 110 both ways or something. Like I just, maybe it's my love affair with betting this Mariners team. But I really thought that the Mariners would take a little bit of money here. So Cleveland would take a little bit of money here. And we would get some plus money with Seattle. So the fact that we still don't have it makes me like it even more. Bieber, really good lately. 6 1/3 against the White Sox. At Toronto, at Detroit, both 7 innings, gave up 2 to Toronto, none against Detroit. But 2 starts last year against Seattle, 5 2/3 when he was here or in Seattle, gave up 5 runs. And then even at home, 4 2/3 gave up 3 runs. Logan Gilbert definitely been up and down this year, but I do think that he pitches much better at home. He's a dog. I think that he's going to pitch really well tonight. He pitched against Cleveland last year 2 times. His last time out, he went 6 2/3, gave up a run to them, and then he had a loss and went 4 innings and gave up 4 runs. But I just think that this Mariners team's rolling right now, and then getting them at home. I think that the fact that they lost that walk-off, well, it wasn't a walk-off, the 9th inning game against the Nationals put an extra spark into them. There's news that they just signed Julio to a big, long contract. That's got to give good vibes to the organization. I like it here today. I really like the Mariners to win here today. I like them at home. I understand how well Cleveland has played right now. Cleveland has played, but I trust the Mariners at home. I trust them I trust the Mariners bullpen. Cleveland's only 6-4 their last 10, so it's not like they've been as dominant before. And again, look at the teams that they've beaten. Do you get a lot of credit in my book for beating Detroit? No, you're supposed to beat them. And oh, by the way, they lost 2 games to Detroit. Then they go to San Diego again. Do you get a lot of credit for beating San Diego right now? Not in my book. So again, they went 1-2 against the White Sox in that span too. So again, Cleveland winning games are supposed to, but nothing that's really impressing me. So I'm going to take the short home dog here. I really like the Mariners here today. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah. So there you go. I'm again. Yeah. So now that it's confirmed, it's a confirmed Angels bet plus 1.5 either way. Oh, sorry. Sauce just said Trout and Otani are confirmed in the lineup for the Angels. So just reassures the Angels bet for us. So that is all the games for today. But I do have a hit parlay for you. Kind of felt bad that Beaver always stiffs you guys on a daily basis. Sauce comes in here and does the show for him. Who knows what Beaver's doing right now? He's probably on another day off. But either way, it doesn't matter. Here's your hit parlay for you guys. Joey Meneses. He plays for the Nationals, by the way. It's Maness. Alec Boehm, Alec Bregman, Harold Ramirez comes back at plus 252. I'll say it again really quickly. Joey Meneses, Alec Boehm, Alec Bregman, Harold Ramirez comes back at plus 252. Also, if you wanted to get freaky in that Rangers game, just like a little bonus bet because it's Friday, Derek Lowe has pretty good numbers. So if you were to go Derek Lowe and Marcus Semien to both get a hit, Rangers money line plus 165. So don't worry about typing all that sauce. But Astros under 8. What do you think, Toast? Probably. I mean, I don't hate it. The Astros. I mean, I think that there's not going to be a lot of runs, but at the same time, Bradish could give up 5 or 6, and then the Orioles only have to score 1 or 2. So, if you're really looking to play the under, depending on what side you like, maybe put it in an SGP like under 9.5 or something. But I personally wouldn't play the under, especially in a small place like the Juice Box in Houston. So I wouldn't be off of that because, like I said, both offenses are pretty decent. I don't expect a ton of runs, but I just don't like it, especially under in Houston like that. I personally no. Just keep it simple. Personally no. So. Tomorrow's show, we will have it in the morning time. I'm pulling up the times right now. Actually, there's not that bad. The first game, well, there's 2 games in the morning at noon, my time. So that's 4 p.m. Eastern. So let's just do it at 3 p.m. Eastern if possible. Yeah, let's do it at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm pretty sure that's fine. If not, I'll let you guys know. We'll put it all over Twitter and stuff like that. But if 3 p.m. tomorrow, VIP will be out in the next 25 minutes or so. I just got to add a couple props now that all the lineups are coming in, and then it'll be out. So look forward to keeping it rolling with you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.